Well, here's a problem we're working on today. This little dog has a typical border collie problem, and he likes to go to the moving animal. So we're just going to let him go naturally, just go on his own. I'm not even sending him on an outrun, just let him go out and do his thing, just to demonstrate what the problem is that we need to fix. See how he left those cattle back? He just keeps going to the moving cattle. Now this is what creates that problem. We're working sheep. Watch this sheep. No matter what, this sheep is going to come right back to the bunch. This little puppy here, he's cutting one out, chasing it around, but it just goes right back every time. So when we're working sheep, we're working one unit. They stay together. They bunch up. When we're working cattle, we are working individual animals. So here's the solution to the problem. We just start splitting the cattle up. Just chase this cow out, let the dog cover it. And if the dog doesn't cover the cow, if the dog lets the cow go, we just walk toward that cow, start putting pressure on the cow, calling the dog's attention to it. I'm just saying, hey, if you don't want it, I'll take it. I'm just going to keep walking out toward this cow until the dog focuses on that cow and goes after it. All we're teaching this dog is just to herd livestock, to control livestock, to keep them together. The word gather, when we say gathering cattle, means, of course, keeping them together. Gather them all up and bring them all. And because he's worked sheep, because he was started on sheep and worked one unit, now he's a little bit confused because we've got, these sheep don't stay together. So I'm just going to teach him how to keep them together. So stay with this cow. Instead of pushing the dog out or giving the dog any commands, I'm not giving any commands to this dog. I'm just pushing the livestock out, just separating them, making him go after the one that, by his natural instinct to gather, to keep things together. Now you'll see the improvement as he goes along here. He'll get where he'll start covering this a little bit better every time by himself. This is going to help him with his gather at the end of his outrun. When the sheepdog row, we said outrun, lift, and fetch. In the cow dog row, we call it a gather. See how he's starting to get wider, a little bit wider on his own, so he's covering all of his livestock. Now he's not even giving that black steer a chance to leave. This is a good set of cattle for this demonstration because the black one is not used to being with the others and he naturally kind of wants to separate. So these are good training tools here today. So as we go along, you can just see a little progress on this little dog where he's really starting to think about keeping things together and covering his livestock. Here again, I'm not commanding him to do this. I'm just giving him the opportunity to do this stuff. Just showing him the one I want him to go after by my body language and by my walking toward it. Now there's some other things that we need to make sure that we instill in our young dogs. One is the ability to create fear. If the livestock is moving, then the dog will be drawn to that moving livestock. But we want him to actually make a move. So I'm just going ahead, while I'm in this training session, getting him in the corner here, letting him go around him a little bit. We'll see a little bit more of this creating fear in the livestock. It is a natural instinct in the predator to create fear. It is something that the mother does, the mother wolf or the mother lioness or whatever, to create fear in the prey, to teach their babies to hunt. They'll make the animal run and let the babies run and catch it. So here I'm just going to make sure that I take this opportunity. I'm going to teach this dog to create fear. I'm going to push him around, make him go in the corner. And when he does, his presence is going to create fear in the cattle and they're going to come running out of that corner. Also watch him get him under control here again. His gather, how he comes out nice and wide and comes around, keeps them all together. You can see that he's actually learning that lesson. You can see some progress in that. Plus, he's learning to create fear in the livestock. Now, he's going to do it on his own. He's going to go in there and bring him out of that corner by himself. He actually made that back one catch up a little bit then. Now he's going to go right in there Attaboy. Bring him. There you go. He might have even bit a little heel right there to get him out of that corner. So he's learning to create fear. Now that bite is something, even if he's wrong, I want to make sure that I don't discourage the bite. Not that I just want my dog biting all the time, but there's times he's going to need a bite, and I want to be able to put a little bite command on him so I can have him nip a heel or nip a nose if he needs to. And see, here he comes in to create fear, purposely create fear and bite. And so when he does that, I'm going to give him a bite command. Tell him get a hold or bite or whatever command that we want to later on put with that bite. Now watch how he covers these cattle now. He's just keeping things together and instead of splitting them up. I've edited this film quite a bit because this session was probably 30 minutes long. But rather than bore you with the whole entire thing, I wanted to be able to show you some progress and how this little dog has progressed on keeping his livestock together. This is just a training exercise that you can use to teach your dog to gather cattle, not just go to the moving livestock, but create fear in the livestock. Now I'm going to call him off, and I always like to call my dog off twice. I'm going to call him off, pet him a little bit, and I want him to associate being called off with just a command. I'm going to go ahead and move the livestock again, or let him move them again, and then I'm going to call him off again. I'm going to call him back past the head of the livestock.